But you get the idea, right? You guys get the idea. So now we're going to spend not much time on the top 10 because all of these films we have discussed at length previously in our podcasts about the genres in which they appear or the genres that they form in some cases. And so we're not going to go into a great deal of detail on them, just a couple of reflections. And we're just going to go back and forth. And now, keep in mind, these are the ones that we watch over and over and over and over. All right, and let's start with me. I'm gonna lead off with, and these are in no particular order, but I like Conager. Conager for a Western is one of my favorite films. It was a Sam Elliott movie based on a Louis L'Amour novel. And it's just that film has just been burned into my mind for a long, long time. A friend of mine who has passed away was an extra in that movie, and I kind of liked watching him come across the screen every once in a while. And it was Conager and a bunch of other people that you probably wouldn't recognize the names of are in that thing, but it's a fabulous film, and I've talked about it before.
It's the Note in the Tumbleweed, right?
Yes.
The lady puts notes in. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a romance. It's a romance.
It's a romance with gunfire and fistfights.
Mm-hmm.
So I like Conager.
It's a comforting movie to watch. I know that sounds odd, but it is.
Because he gets to go home.
He gets to go. That's right.
Right.
Well, the first on my list, like again, no particular order, is Quigley Down Under with Tom Selleck.
Right. Fabulous film.
Alan Rickman, right? Remember the bad guy from Die Hard, Alan Rickman. Tom Selleck plays Matthew Quigley. It's in the 1860s. He takes a job as a marksman. He thinks he's going to be getting rid of animals, and he gets over there in Australia, and they want him to kill the indigenous populace. And of course, he won't do that, and he goes. He teaches him a lesson. He carries a very interesting gun. It's a Sharps, 1874 Sharps. He says that, I wrote it down. He said it was a 45 110 with a 540 grain bullet, and he's got a vernier sight. And if you've ever seen a vernier sight, they can adjust windage and elevation,
right.
And it can be very finite, And he makes these incredibly difficult standing shots of 800 yards, standing, unsupported shots.
He takes out, when he makes a shot with a round, he takes the round out and he looks at it and he fucks with it a little bit and adjusts it for the temperature and the wind and stuff and makes the shot with the damn thing.
He appreciates the damn gun. There's a scene where he drops some dust to see what the windage is,
Mm-hmm.
And the U.S. Army had a technique that you can see the tape on YouTube if you Google it, where they're teaching their marksmen to do that very thing to check for windage, and it still works. It's just the better you are at it, the better it works.
Right.
But it's really it's a fun movie.
Join us this coming Friday on Starting Strength Radio. We are going to talk about the movies again, and what we're going to do this time, it's a little bit different than before. We're going to talk with our friend John Musser about our favorite movies, the ones we watch over and over and over. Just so you get a little insight into the twisted personalities of myself and John, and you can write all these down and add to your movie collection, knowing full well that we approve of your decisions, all right? Our favorite movies with John Musser this coming Friday on Starting Strength Radio.